I am the Kaiju no Kami with
Kralika Kane.
and we are going to be talking about Disappointment 22. I mean, Zenkaiger 22. But I guess I can't really be disappointed because I called exactly what was going to happen.
See, when you say Disappointment 22, I think it sounds like you're saying Super Bowl 22. Because most of the Super Bowls are a disappointment, so I didn't even think of Zenkaiger when you're like, Disappointment 22. I was like, wait, is that going to be the next Super Bowl?
No, that's the next 5 Super Bowls.
Okay.
But yeah, I was right when I said it'd be the last minute and a half of the episode, and...
Well, you were a little off because it wasn't the last minute and a half. It was the last...
Well, if you count the previews, yes.
Okay.
Technically, I said the fight would be about 55 seconds long.
Okay. For anyone who has not watched the episode, has absolutely no idea what he's talking about, in the previews from episode 21, they show, and kind of even before the previews, you had Ijarud telling Stacy, I have a new mech. And then it goes to the previews and you see the mech. And so this episode, we have Battle Season Robo Mach 2. And when we had last watched the episode, my dear hubby here was like, oh, is it just going to appear in like the last minute or so of the episode? And I was like, maybe, hopefully not. Hopefully they do something more. But he apparently had a psychic moment. I'm not going to say the words he wants me to say, because after 20 years together, I've learned you don't say the particular duel of words.
What words? What's the opposite of left? If you're not wrong, you're...
I'm not saying it.
What foot is this?
I'm not saying it.
What arm is this?
I'm still not saying the word.
Which word? What do you do when you have a sheet of paper?
Not giving into your tyranny.
No, what do you do when you have a sheet of paper?
I mark down words.
Which is called?
I'm not saying. Writing. There you go. Writing.
Yes, I was right.
I didn't see that. I used the ing, so it's not.
Doesn't matter. Alright, so this episode was a lot of bullcrap.
So, the episode, I'm going to give you both titles. The title that's online is called Let's Have a Bullfighting Party. And then for the video, it actually was translated to Let's Have a Bullfighting Brouhaha. I actually like the word brouhaha better. So we have the bullfighting world, if you couldn't figure it out from the title. And it was actually kind of funny because he went to the dojo that we once saw Vroom in. And he makes all of these puns, obviously, with bullfighting, bullcrap, crap. I was like, oh my god, you're going all in on it. And so he changes everyone, or not changes them, but brainwashes them and gives them horns to think that they're bulls. And then he can call out a random color and they'll go to attack that color. So when we first see him do this, he uses the color red, which if anyone is not aware, that is the traditional color in a bullfighting arena because of, I believe it's how the eyes are for a bull's eyes. Red is so vibrant. So they utilize that for the fighting arena. And it's actually funny because they go to attack Juron.
No, you missed the funny part. They're chasing after these people getting off a bus. The people run away and he's like, oh, where'd they all go? And then the Zenkaigers pop up.
Well, it was kind of fortuitous because they walk out of the bus station perfectly, in line. So they go after Juron, and all the people are attacking him. I say attack, but they're just hitting and mooing and things like that. And then Kaito gets the bright idea, wait, the bottom of my cape is red, so maybe I can split off the attackers. And the bullfighter's like, white. And I'm like...
So he runs on the bus.
Which I thought was the stupidest thing. And it's not the first time in movie history or television history that some idiot says, I'm going to get into a contained space.
Well, no, it was more of because the seats, they can't all charge in one big group. They have to do it single file, essentially.
I understand, but... I understand what you're saying. I just never understood going into a confined space. It's like when people do that in the zombie apocalypse. Or when we were watching A Quiet Place 2, and she does it. I'm like, you're in a confined space. I have a problem.
Because then the creatures can only go in one direction?
And you can't escape.
Well, if you're you gotta pick your poison. Do you want to be surrounded, or do you want to at least have them coming from only one direction? Where you can at least maybe have a chance on that one direction.
I am claustrophobic, so I'm not going to answer that question.
Anyway, he brings them on the bus, he gets them off the bus.
Well, he doesn't get them off the bus.
Or he jumps off.
No, he doesn't even jump off.
Oh,
He's
that's
stuck
right.
trying to get out of the window.
He changed it to blue as he was trying to get out of the window.
And so you go through this. Then Zenkaiger goes to call for the Zenkaiger gear.
And it doesn't come.
And we find out that Zenkaiger gear can, 1, eat, and 2, decided to run away on Zenkaiju's little journey. We don't even get to see his journey.
Well, there was no journey.
I know. Later in the episode, you find out he basically left.
Because Gaon yelled at him.
And, yeah, because apparently a creature that doesn't have AI, but then again, I'm not going to go into that because androids dream of electric sheep, and gets stuck in some mesh or netting. So due to that, he's been stuck the entire episode. And we don't find this out until Juron, who's walking around, sees Zox and Flint eating some
and our bad CGI
ice.
brothers.
Yeah, but they call him Zenkai Red or something, because they call him by his color.
And he says, "I'm not feeling like having a color today."
No, he says you're the same color as me.
No, but he said because of what happened, he doesn't want to hear his color.
No, I understand that. And then Zox, hearing that we have a bullfighting world, does the exact same thing this human being would do. That sounds like fun. I want to play with chaos. So he goes off. Flint then decides she wants to go and hang out too. So she is speed eating her I was going to say frozen ice, but that sounds stupid because it's
slushy?
Slushy, I think. I don't know. It's like fruit flavored.
Whatever.
Ice. And if you know what exactly the hell it was, put it in the comments. But so Juron keeps on saying multiple times, you're going to get brain freeze. You're going to get brain freeze.
Well, she has to have a brain first to freeze. And then she's like, well, the Zenkai gears can't run away. They don't have that type of AI.
And he's like, oh. Because early in the episodes, he is actually yelling at Gaon because Gaon obviously favors humans versus Kikanoids. So he felt kind of like an asshole at that moment, which Dime Store Predator was in the right this time around.
Who goes to a park, sees a bunch of kids playing,
One of which is a
sees the
Kikinoid.
Kikinoid kid fall and doesn't help him at all. And he's like, oh crap, I guess Juan was right. And then I guess...
Which does actually say something briefly about racism.
Well, yeah, but...
No, and I actually think that's kind of cool that even though it's doing it subtly, it is talking about you cannot judge a person by the color of their skin, which is what frustrates me when we have this entire argument about a Japanese citizen doing blackface and that being okay. So I'm trying to understand their contradiction. We're going to talk about racism being bad.
Well, especially with last year when they were calling the U.S. out for the whole Black Lives Matter thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving past that, so Galan then realizes, oh crap, he might be right, and they always are kind of me, so maybe I am being an asshole. And then we go back to the bullfighting. Everyone is bullfighting.
Well, so at that moment in time, it's just vroom. I'm ignoring your pun. It's vroom and Majine fighting.
Juran and Zox show up.
And Zox transforms.
And here's Zox, here's Juran, and they're running, and then Zox is like, whoop, and Juran's like, oh, I guess I'm going that way.
I know, dude. It's like, here's radar for the villain. So then,
Then he gets them all bowled, and they start attacking Zox. So Zox pulls out the bow black coin, even though I don't think it really works like that, but whatever. And I don't.
Has any of the coins actually worked as they're supposed to for the actual series they're referencing?
Apparently the Jetman won.
Okay, aside from that.
The Bioman won.
Did Turbo Ranger work as Turbo Ranger should?
No.
So obviously Bull Black.
And the Lucky series did not work.
But
as
anyway,
Lucky
so
series is supposed to.
Bull Black form, basically all the bulls come up to him and are like friendly.
Oh, there's just another bull. And then it wears off. And then
by that point, he is hitting everyone, even the Zenkaigers.
Well, then Kaito shows up, and then Galan shows up.
No, they showed up together.
Yeah, whatever. And then Galan becomes, attack me, and all this stuff. You guys take care of him. So they take care of him. And then they're all like, oh, we're all friends. Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And Zaka's like, time to stop, because the giant monster version just showed up.
I know, I thought that was funny because he's like, yeah, that. So, with that said, I do want to reference one thing.
Hold on, and then they fight, and okay, that I like the grilled, the barbecue city, especially when you have the miniature cars with the orange lighting coming up all on them. That was pretty awesome.
So, somebody made a comment in our last video once they got their power-ups about what's the point of the Kikinoids now?
Yeah, that doesn't.
And I actually, when I first saw the comment, I'm like, no, I kind of disagree. And then watching this episode, all I thought was, why are the Kikinoids there? Because essentially, Super Zenkaiger and Super 2 Kaiser they're powered up enough right now, they can defeat the monster and then become a mech and defeat the monster that way. So, basically, the 4 Kikinoids are just your audience.
No, they all combine next week. Oh no, you went to flip the burger.
Yeah, I went to go cook.
The preview for next week's episode is they combine all to be able to fight Star Caesars.
Like Shinkinger ridiculous, or
I don't recall actually seeing the mech in the previews. I just know they said, and it looked like they were showing it to form, but I don't think they actually showed it form because it didn't look like it, or maybe it did and it just doesn't. I don't know.
But I still think, even without the mech, that notwithstanding,
but yeah,
if they don't do something, I kind of feel like
they're pointless now.
They are. Outside of being mech artillery, I don't think they have any value. And it sucks because I love the 4 Kikinoids. All 4 of them, even my dime store predator, are so much fun. And they've had such great character development. That's one thing I have to give Junko so much credit for, is she's developing these characters.
Well, the heroes.
Okay, the heroes. And when
was the last time Bara Shitara got any sort of... When was the last time these generals really had that much screen time? I mean, we had that one episode of Bara Shitara when he was fighting two Kaiser, but other than that, when have these generals really done much of anything?
Okay, well, she's developed the heroes very well, to the point where I appreciate and actually feel frustrated for those characters, because I don't know what they're going to be able to do for, the next 40, or not next 40, next 25 to 30 episodes to keep the Kikinoids with a purpose. Because right now, Zenkaiger and 2 Kaiser could do the entire thing until it becomes a mech battle. And I don't like that.
And they can do the mech battle too.
Well, exactly. Even if you merge all 3 mechs together, you still just usually have Kaito in the driver's seat. So I'm a little frustrated by that, and it has taken away some of my fun, because right now it feels like the characters are significantly diminished.
Their purpose.
And I'm hoping... Well, actually, I don't know what I'm hoping for.
Well, just wait till Stace Caesar becomes good, and then we have 3 people who control mecha.
Well, and that's the other problem. When Stacy does become a good character, which the writing is clearly on the wall, it's like in bold print with a giant billboard.
Well, it's not like he's ever done anything evil enough to warrant being evil.
Well, I know, but with knowing that he's eventually going to become a good character, it's going to even further push the 4 Kikinoids back. And that's a problem for me, because they took a risk by having 1 human character in the 4 Kikinoids, then bringing on 2 other human characters, that it diminishes the purpose.
I feel like Junko is completely... They're completely out of ideas of what to do with the Kikinoids at this point.
Well, and that's something they need to get back on track for. Because if this series is at least 45 episodes, you have time and a half to figure out these characters, to figure out the story, and make something work. I'm not saying she needs to be a stellar showrunner, but having seen previous series that she was a part of, she's done a good job. But it seems like when she was doing Gokaiger, because she helped with some of the episodes. Well, she helped
with some of the episodes, yes.
Well, that's what I mean, is that she knows what she's doing, even for a very good show. But I think the flaw for her, compared to other writers that we've talked about recently, that you'll see more of soon, hopefully, whenever it may come out, is that she doesn't have a partner she can bounce ideas off of.
That, and she doesn't know... Well, again, she doesn't know how to do villains, which this series has really... It has really shown that if she can't get villains right the 3rd time, she just doesn't know how to write villains.
Well, and that's what I think. So she needs a secondary writer who can support any of the flaws that she has as a writer. Because we've seen a couple of other series recently where they had multiple writers and they're able to work off of each other.
Or we've got like Agito. He wrote most of the episodes, and it's staying consistent with his tone and everything.
Yes, but every writer is a little bit different on their skill level, their knowledge level.
Well, okay, last year for Kira Major, Arakawa only did a small portion of the series, so he clearly had other writers that they were all communicating with each other.
Well, that's what I mean. And the one thing that I've noticed a lot about her episodes for Junko is she's writing the majority episodes. So I'm going to give her credit there, because we've talked about Saber and the showrunner for that, and how he's barely done any of the episodes.
And he's not even doing the final 4.
And so I just think for Sentai, you need to have a core team that can work well together, communicate together, and not feel like they're on an island.
Well, and it's a team-based show, so there should be a team of writers that are all working together and communicating.
I agree. And so, not to get too much on the rant, because that's not the intent, but the episode disappointed me so much that I just...
You're finally feeling what I've been feeling for the last 21 weeks.
It's this one episode that's disappointed me. I have still liked everything else.
Really? You still like this?
Okay, not every episode. I still...
I'm just saying that this episode made you feel the way I have felt this entire show.
Yes.
Which is why I gave up on having any expectations, and yet this episode still somehow kind of disappointed me, despite the fact that I've given up all expectations on this show.
Well, I still am a believer that no matter what, no matter how much more we go through, good or bad, the show hasn't been a waste of my time. It's been a fun ride. I have enjoyed it. And even this episode.
No, I definitely... It's definitely not a waste of time. I'm not feeling like I did with Ryu Soldier.
No.
And Q Ranger, where I'm just like, oh my god, let's turn this off now. It is more like with Zyuohger and Lupin Ranger, which were Junko series, where it's like, okay, I don't like watching this week by week, but I'm not hating the show enough where I'm like, ah.
And I will admit, there is that frustration when you think about the series it's going up against.
Kira Major.
Kira Major. It pales in comparison in a variety of different capacities. And as an anniversary series compared to its predecessor, Zenkaiger,
Oh, Kaija!
then absolutely it pales in comparison. But I look at the show as a Seinfeld-like series. And for all of you young people who don't know Seinfeld, it basically is a show about nothing.
So say there's no plot, there's nothing.
There's no like continuous story. Every episode is a completely different thing. You can turn on a random episode and not feel like you have missed anything.
That's probably why I've never liked Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Whatever. Seinfeld.
It's like Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. But nevertheless.
Or is it Igor or Igor?
Sorry, we've been on this Mel Brooks kick. But anyways.
Or I thought we were on a Kamen Rider kick.
That too. I will say as my last thing. What year was Agito?
2001.
Okay.
And Kuga was 2000.
Alright, so Kuga and Agito. Let's say 20, 21 years in the past. Still better CGI than Zenkaiger. WTF? How? And 2001 was the era of they're still learning CGI. And I'm not saying CGI was the greatest, but they still made it seem kind of more realistic than the twins.
Well, that's also because...
Why are you laying away from me?
Because I knew what you were going to say about the CGI. And being like, for the people that are going to become the comments, stop complaining about the CGI. It's blah, blah, blah. It's because of COVID. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Let's just put this in a dynamic. COVID does not affect people working on computers, and CGI is completed on computers to the point where they can actually do the CGI from home. So I can technically, it could be done on a laptop.
Well, I was wondering though. I think, shouldn't the first Blu-ray set for Zenkaiger be out now in Japan? Because that would mean that people could see if they actually fixed the CGI for the Blu-ray release compared to broadcast.
Well, and that's another thing. That's actually a really good point, because we had the same argument when we were watching Dragon Ball Super. Because obviously,
and Sailor Moon Crystal.
Because obviously that's animation versus CGI, but it was computer animation, so it's all generated similarly to how you do CGI. And they're rushing to get things done. The one thing I've learned in Japan compared to other countries on their television shows is that Japan has a shoestring deadline of when things get...
Well, remember at Anime Expo when that one kid asked Production IG, why was the animation quality in episode 13 of Attack on Titan so bad compared to the rest of the season?
One, I give the kid still credit for being that finicky, but whereas Doctor Who has a shoestring budget, Japan has a shoestring deadline of when things have to get done. Because they...
Alright, we've got you set up for a 50-episode series. Production starts 3 weeks ago.
Pretty much.
Can you have the first episode out yesterday?
I think production for each of the episodes is, like... I think filming takes place in a matter of, 3 to 5 days.
Well, the episodes are usually filmed about 4 to 5 weeks in advance before they air.
Yes, but filming for one episode is usually 3 to 5 days. Because, truthfully, it's a 30-minute episode. You don't need to do that much.
Well, from what has been said is they start filming at 6 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And just go until, I guess, they're done with their entire schedule for the day.
Well, which makes sense.
Because a lot of actors have talked about how hard it is to work on Toku shows because you're doing this nonstop all year long.
Well, that makes sense because not only do you have to do the filming, so you have the filming that's done.
That's why Toku makes or breaks an actor.
Yeah, that's why most people go through Toku first. And when you see people come back in Toku, you're like, wow, you are insane. But, so they have 3 to 4 days for filming. Then it goes into the producer hand, not the producers, the AD hands, because they have to do all the voice acting. Then after they're done with the voice acting, they have to cut the episode to have it edited. Then they have to put in the effects. And the effects are going to be pretty much the last thing they're going to do. So they're going to rush that out. Because usually that's the part that's the time crunch. And everybody is doing it on computers. So give me my argument when I pick on Zenkaiger out of love by saying that a show from 2000 has better CGI. Okay. I am tempted to post on Twitter, but nobody listens to me on Twitter. But I'm tempted to post that Kamen Rider has better CGI than Sentai.
You mean Kamen Rider in 2000?
Yes. I am just going to put that out there. Nobody's going to listen to me because unlike you, nobody gets ragey with me. You would post that exact comment, and you would be...
There we go. We both post that comment with the exact same wording, the exact same tags, and see who gets more results.
I guarantee it's going to be you because you're a magnet for everybody getting angry at you. Because it feels like your profile is just saying, "Come at me, bro." But nevertheless...
Come at me, bitch.
But nevertheless, I'm a little scared about the mechs combining. Because I have flashbacks and triggered still by Shinkinger. Because that mech...
Shinkinger and Goanger and everything.
Well, Shinkinger was the first one. And then I was actually thinking of Shinkinger when we watched this episode because Super Zenkaiger's suit actor cannot move. But I digress. Not gonna get into my soapbox again. I'll wait until next week.
Okay. So overall, I thought it was a meh episode.
Well, I figured I kind of figured that when you said disappointment 22.
Meh. Meh.
But with that said,
meh.
If you like what we do, please continue to support us by liking the video, commenting in the video, subscribe, hit any bell notification that YouTube has you taking advantage of.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to follow us, you can do so at Kaiju Okami on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Or you can also check out our website at creativitybydesignllc.com. And then finally, I wanted to share that we have actually put in an order for some fun stuff with, will you stop it? With our Kaiju Okami logo on some t-shirts, some water bottles.
You're ruining the surprise. You're going to ruin my Kaiju no Okami the merchandise video.
You could still do it because not everybody who watches this is going to watch that.
Kaiju no Okami the merchandise, the merchandise, the merchandise.
But he'll do a special video on this. But anyways,
Kaiju no Okami the t-shirt, Kaiju no Okami the flamethrower. Okay,
there is no flamethrower.
Well, there should be a flamethrower.
No, there shouldn't be. Between you and Crystalage Bloodborne, I don't want axes, machetes, flamethrowers, or anything that you think is a gardening tool. So with that...
A scythe isn't a gardening tool. Ooh, Kaiju no Okami the scythe!
Nevertheless, keep an eye out for his merchandising video. And once again...
It's going to be like 3 weeks from now.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for continuing to watch Couples Therapy, and we will see you again soon. Bye!
Me.